I can't tell you how much it means to me to have family and friends. And I mentioned I didn't expect my uncle to be here. He's 98 years old. He's a patriarch of our family. He's a 1934 graduate of Madera High School.
All right.
And so I would. It's a anyway. Anyway, the reason I'm here today is I think it's pretty obvious. I'm announcing my candidacy for the Madera County Board of Supervisors representing District 3. People are asking me why. They've been asking me, have you been playing on the freeway again? You know, been hit by a few semis or something. And no, that hasn't quite been the case. Number one, I'm not tired of being mayor. I'm not tired of being on city council. I've got the same passion that I had from day one. I love it. I have great colleagues right here. I mean, they're awesome guys and lady with Sally, and they're just. I have a deep love for our city and for the for all the efforts that have been put forth there. But I also have a deep love for our entire county. And for our number one industry, agriculture. As a matter of fact, I think as serving on the Board of Supervisors, I can benefit the city of Madera as well as the county of Madera in ways that we don't even think about now. The city and county operations are not mutually exclusive. A lot of times people like to put a line that electeds have put up and say, this is where life ends or life begins, depending on where you think life is. But that's not the case. We're directly related in different areas. For instance, in water, we share the same basin, the city of Madera, the county of Madera. That we don't have a county basin and a city basin. It's one basin. With jobs, it's the same thing. We have jobs in the county, in the city. People go in and out of the limits to work together in those jobs. And third of all, we also have signs flying everywhere. No, we have thank you guys, appreciate it. All right. We have, these are Rotarians. Most of these people are Rotarians. This is what Rotarians do. They pick up signs that are flying everywhere. All right. And I promised them I'd get them to their meeting by noon. But the other thing is public safety too, because we don't know the bad guys. They can live in Parkwood, they can live in Parksville, they can live in other areas, and the same thing living in the city limits. I mean, again, we have shared problems, shared challenges, but we also have shared opportunities. Let me just talk a little bit about those three areas that I briefly mentioned. One of them is water, you know, our most precious resource. We have the shared water basin. What we need to do is to help preserve not only agriculture, but our existing urban areas. One of the worst things we can do is to encourage more housing and then not be able to deliver water. And it's the same thing with our agriculture. That's our number one industry here. I mean, if you look at everything goes on, not only it's obvious out in the county, but you know, I just look over here at this hardware store called Tico.
I wonder.
It depends on agriculture. We look at, we've got an ag school over here. I wonder why. We've got, CPAs and insurance agencies, and you name, every business depends on agriculture that we have here. So we need to work together to preserve our water basin. At the city of Madera, and with the help of my colleagues, we are concerned about investment. We have been, this year we put together plans to increase and preserve water. We're planning on, by the year 2022, to have a 7 million gallon tank, water tank, for water delivery. Our tank right now is 1 million gallons, holds 1 million gallons. As your next supervisor, God willing, I plan to work hard to be proactive in creating vital infrastructure for water. Number two, jobs in the economy. I was talking to somebody earlier and I mentioned, government doesn't create jobs, but what government does do and should do is do exactly what is occurring here, creating and helping infrastructure, providing infrastructure, having shovel-ready land. Before this development was put forth, we had a 1% vacancy rate for land for industry and commercial businesses here in our city. Back in the mid-2000s, there was a big push to put an apartment complex over here in the corner of Pine and Pecan, which really made a lot of sense because, I mean, it's downwind from producers, it's across the street from the olive plant and the ag farm. Not only that, it would take away the potential for industrial land. So, thanks to my colleagues, and I think back in those days we had was joined by Sally Bonprezi and our current assessor, Gary Savanda. They stood tough and said, no, we're going to preserve this land for industry. They took some flack for it, but because of their decision, today we have what's going on here. Several years ago, we had a unique partnership formed between Span Construction, the EDC, and the City of Madera, and worked together hand in hand to form this business park. And on Thursday, we're going to be having a groundbreaking for one of the first businesses coming in here, Deer Point. And so definitely looking forward to that. So again, I'd like to thank my colleagues for all their great job and working hard for that to happen. I'd just like to touch on agriculture. Agriculture, I've mentioned it before, but it means a lot to me. My brother and I still farm on the land that we grew up on, that my father developed, and my uncle. And it's I have my degree in agribusiness from Cal Poly. I mentioned Tico Hardware, and again, I have a firm understanding of what it takes to run a business and how to be successful. And so we need to continue to support that industry. I'm happy to say that we have a skilled workforce initiative that I'll continue to support. And as your supervisor, I'll work with others utilizing this model of success to form other public-private partnerships. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about public safety. I'm so proud of what our police department has done and accomplished in the city of Madera. I mean, they're just awesome. You know, we've got our officers here today, and they have worked so hard to invest in the community, to connect with the community, to not be looked at as guys to avoid, but guys to embrace, and in working with our community side by side to fight crime. We've got our neighborhood watch program. We've got over 55 neighborhoods that are in some form of organization, and that's helping to fight crime. And our police department, our probation department, the county agency is working in strong cooperation to make that happen. Nonetheless, we've got something that passed a few years ago called Prop 47. And that's creating some issues that we did anticipate, but unfortunately, misdemeanors or felonies are now misdemeanors, and one misdemeanor is like the 200 misdemeanor. It's creating some issues. So, as your supervisor, as well as your mayor, I promise to work with my colleagues to provide extra funding and seek some ways that you'll be hearing about soon in order to enhance our law enforcement efforts, in addition to providing more fire safety. So I'd like to conclude with talking about a roadmap for our future. And really, the foundation for this roadmap is built on cooperation and collaboration. It's built on creating a vision and a strategic plan for our county. We've got that with our city. We developed our 20-year vision plan. And I believe that if you've got a roadmap to success, you can get there rather than being reactive. Number two, working better within a county structure, looking for ways to agree, not disagree. It's kind of unique. The structure is very different in the city, but I think that there's a lot of ways that can be done. Again, working cooperatively towards and remembering who we're serving. It's not serving ourselves, we're serving others. Number three, and finally, I'd just like to mention, realizing what a gem we have in Madera County. With the right planning, we can become great. I'd like to conclude by thanking again everybody here for their support. The Madera Police Officers Association for coming out with their early endorsement. My city council colleagues, again, just great guys, and man, you guys mean everything to me. You know, it's if you ever go to one of our city council meetings, I think you'll see what I mean. It's a tight unit. We work together. Donald always says, if one of us is there, we're all there. And so it's something that I'd like to carry over into the county. I'd like to thank our business leaders here today, people from the agriculture community, the farming community, and especially my family. I'd like to thank my wife, who's not here. She's a teacher. She said I picked the absolute worst time to have this, but you know, without her, you know, I wouldn't be here doing this. And God willing, I'm looking forward to serving you as the next county supervisor from District 3. God bless you all.